students, it's Mrs. Meyer, and if you're watching this, it's likely your first day in class with me. I want to review materials that I would like you to have in class with you each day. We're in a different setting, so you don't have your backpack with all of your things packed in there. That's kind of nice, actually, so you can create a permanent place for your things, and I'm going to ask you to do that as an assignment for this week, is to find a spot where you can be each time that you come to class, so your materials can be in a somewhat permanent place, if that's possible. We'll talk about other options. So as you notice on my list, the first thing is a pen and pencil, which should probably go without saying. So just a regular pen, doesn't matter the color, something you can see, and then some type of pencil that you can use during class. We will switch between them for various things, so please make sure you have at least one of each tool. The next thing you're going to want is a notebook or binder with paper. Traditionally in my class, I do something called the interactive binder or interactive notebook. We aren't going to be doing exactly that, but we will be using these notebooks on a daily basis. We will be numbering our pages. So you'll need at least one page of paper for each day and somewhere to store them all in order. That's why I do recommend the composition book or binder, because this way you've got all the pages in there and it's easy enough just to number them. If you don't want to use a notebook and maybe you're using a binder for all your classes, a binder works fine. You can use sticky notes or something else to tab our section. But you will need enough notebook paper so that each day that you come to class, you have a fresh page to write on. And you will see as we go along why we are going to be doing that. You're not going to physically turn this into me. I'm not going to collect it from you, but you will need this. And oftentimes when we have assessments, tests, quizzes, I let you use your notebook to go back and look at some of the things that you've written in class. So if you don't have this, and you can't find those notes, you may not do as well as a student that has this. So you definitely want it. It is required. And then I use highlighters in my class. If you have a favorite color of highlighter, some of our activities, you can use any color of highlighter, but sometimes I'll be asking you to highlight in these three specific colors. So I'm asking you please to have each of these colors, a pink, a yellow, and a green highlighter to work with during our class time, because sometimes we will be annotating or writing on our text using these colors. So make sure you have those three colors. I know sometimes that you don't have just highlighters laying around, or maybe last year's wore out. Honestly, regular markers were great for that, or it's a little bit more, a little sloppier, but it would work to use crayons too, because you can underline in those colors. So as long as you have those three colors in crayons or colored pencils, that would also work. The last thing that I will ask you to find and have available to you is a pair of scissors and some tape or glue. And any type that will work. The best type of tape would be the clear, because you're going to be cutting your own little pieces of paper and sorting them and then taping them or gluing them into your notebook. But you can adapt to whatever you find at home. Sometimes there's limited. And so what I'd like you to do too is to tell me if any of these materials are hard for you to come by, like you don't have them at home and you can't purchase them. Please connect with me. I will find a way for you to get these materials. You might have to stop by school, but we'll talk about that. So let's first start with like scavenge. Like I scavenge around my house and I found all of these things without purchasing them. So they're usually available somewhere in the house. Now, the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you my desk space. Now I am zooming from my bathroom. I know that sounds interesting, but this is kind of got a long counter space and a separate place for my clothing and some other things. So I found that this space is a good space for me to zoom in because it's my own personal space. So I'm going to show you kind of what it looks like. So as you can see, there's a mirror back here and I have my school stuff. There's a whiteboard. Those are things that I'll be using sometimes for teaching. So that's important to me. But for you as a student, you just want a place where you can keep your supplies. You see that I have a cup that I put these supplies in and a little counter space where I've put my notebook and my binder. And those could work on your dining table at home, a counter at home, any place where you could just have a flat spot to put those, or a drawer. So look for that space in your house. Or put these things into a bag or a basket and have them ready. So maybe when you're sitting on the couch and you're Zooming from your coffee table, they'll be available. So we're going to talk about, by next week, describing your Zooming space and how you're going to access these materials while we're here for our hour of class. All right, so that's pretty much it for materials. There's going to be a quiz, so you can repeat and watch this and see how you do. What kind of things will you need in my classroom will be the question. I'm sure it will be an easy quiz. Thank you.